much, Reverend Lomolomo. I think we were going to try and wrap up the session at about 4:30 and have Shamima to moderate our last session on summing up, but we've combined those two sessions together, and I think that's kind of served as an opportunity to also document just any last thoughts in terms of gaps and all of that we've been able to now capture. I think in terms of next steps, what we're going to do from here is try and write up all that's come out of this discussion, and it's obviously been a very rich 2 days. There's been a huge exchange in terms of the learning, and I think that was the objective of the 2 days in the area of women's economic empowerment and also in behavior change. I just thought, before Tracey will do the proper wrap-up and thanking everyone, there were some really good quotes, I think, that came out of the 2 days, and I was kind of noting them as we went through, and maybe just to throw that back and to think about them in terms of the work as we leave here. And I think it was Stephen who first of all said top-down, bottom-up, side-to-side approach in the work that we're doing towards gender equality, or was it Dame Carol? I think it was Elizabeth who said something about dreaming beyond what we're familiar with and just being able to dream of what we would really like to see as changes for Pacific women. The whole idea of doing no harm in the area of women's economic empowerment, that we're not allowing women to become more susceptible to cases of violence and incidences of violence. And I think the discussion on behavior change that we had today, where we talked about the whole, this cannot be measured in 1 year, and it's an ongoing process. And I really like, I think, what Alice said, which a number of you have picked up on, and it's a comment from the rural women, that you walk with us and not before us. And it's often a slow walk, but that's the request from the rural women. And something else from our colleague from Tonga, I think she said something about that someone had mentioned to her that leadership is not about waiting for the lights at the end of the tunnel, but actually walking towards the light and switching it on. And I thought that was there were these nuggets that were kind of going out through the 2 days, which I just wanted to pick up on. The whole discussion on monitoring and that not being a linear process, a complexity of things that need to be dealt with and need to be monitored. And I think Susan mentioned something about that we have to add ourselves into it, and you address effectiveness through your change in ourselves, which I think is also quite something that we need to think about as we leave here. And I like, just things like there's a yearning for change in the communities. People want to see different communities, and so that maybe we can build on that and pick up on that momentum. And just the words like critical mass, power analysis, and all of that's starting to come up. So there's a really good opportunity to pick up on those things. And I think the initiative is, positioned in a good place to be able to pick up on some of the discussions. And maybe there was, I think, a comment as well from Anna, just to say that maybe the data analysis and the huge amount of data that is now available in the region, but maybe just needs to be analyzed properly. And I think that was something that also came out. That we're being challenged to be better human beings, which is what Stephen had mentioned in the work on HIV. So I just thought it'd be really good to pick out those things, because it kind of sums up the richness of the discussions that have happened over the last 2 days. And I'll hand over to Tracey now for the proper wrap-up and sum up of the thank you to everyone.
So I'll be very brief, but I did want to acknowledge the journeys that everybody has come from, both to get to the meeting, but also over the last 2 days, and really want to thank you all for your honesty and your engagement, and for sharing your experiences, your frustrations, your hopes, and really making this, as Anna said, a very rich 2 days. In terms of monitoring and evaluation, I think it's achieved its objectives in terms of really providing a forum to share experiences, increase our understanding of what's happening across the region in 2 areas around women's empowerment, but also highlighting for all of us, I hope, the gaps and opportunities and where we need to continue to work to do better. I do want to acknowledge a number of people without whom this 2 days would never have happened. Obviously all of our speakers and our moderators, who kept us largely on track and really provide a very rich discussion. But also, I hope she's still here, Seema.
She's downstairs.
She's run away. She had another meeting to go to, but Seema has done a fabulous job in really pulling all of the workshop together, and to acknowledge PIFs for the use of this fabulous room. The other team, who unfortunately can't be here, is from PLP, who really again helped with all of the logistics and the support. All of my AusAid colleagues who helped us identify the participants for the workshop. And Anna here, who also did a lot of work in preparation. So thank you all very much. Looking forward to working with all of you over the next 10 years. Thank you. Bye.